my project was a documentary titled Food for Thought, Kentucky Silent Ocean. Okay, so let's talk about the vision. So my entire project is essentially a film about the numerous and differing opinions about the JBS Slaughterhouse in Butchertown, which I'm sure some of you know or have smelled before. And these perspectives come from government workers, they come from political leaders, and just regular citizens who I wanted to give a voice to. And a lot of these a lot of these opinions they exemplified a perspective that I had never heard before, and a lot of them were progressive, and which I loved. And I'm also addressing the direction rules in terms of opening up new businesses about plant-based lifestyle and just talking about the future of Louisville and what I hope to see. And, oh, sorry, hold on. That was actually, I'll show a couple pictures. That was actually filming in Butchertown. That's the famous mural that we have, and that is my videographer, Elizabeth Kerrigan. And here we go. So here is a couple people I'm interviewing. I started with Tom Fitzgerald, who's the director of the Kentucky Resources Council, and he eventually connected me to so many people. And he connected me to Tom Nord from the Air Pollution Control District, Aaron Wagner and Mike Moore from MSD to just talk about air quality and water quality. And eventually I got up to the former mayor, Jerry Abramson, and then Mary Green Fisher. And then all of these other people who were just, I'm grateful enough to have interviewed. And so, why did I do this? Well, I have always been so interested in what a good documentary can do, because you don't even realize the little stuff that go into film, but it's just all of these arduous efforts that everybody just watches for an hour. And I just think I wanted to do that too. And I wanted to originally just talk about the problems surrounding the slaughterhouse and promote a vegan lifestyle, but honestly, my opinion on this entire issue has changed, and so the message that I was spreading did too. And so my end product shifted immensely, and so it became just talking about all of the different perspectives in Louisville. And displaying my message in film was probably one of the most hardest things I've ever done to myself, but it's been the most rewarding, just because being a director, it's so much, and I had to work with my videographer, I had to find a sound person, and it was just a lot of things that I'll talk about in my process. And so my sip time the first semester, it was so much filming. That was mainly the part that I worked on the most. And so I worked on interview questions inside of class, but I had to do all my filming outside of class. And so this was pretty much every single weekend and a couple days outside of school per week. And so I had to coordinate ways to fund this project because, a surprise, documentaries take a lot of money. And I actually was grateful enough to receive a $500 grant from the Veg Fund, and with numerous other donations that just helped me turn this into a reality. And so I met with my mentor, Mr. Baumgarten, to perfect kind of the vision that I wanted to show other people. And then I also spent a majority outside of SIP as well, just this was first semester and outside of semester, because I couldn't film all the time in SIP. And let's see, I was also working on perfecting the storyline, because with editing you also need to have kind of your storyline just ready to go, exactly, almost like a script, but you're definitely just telling the story that you want to show. And this was actually a shot that was taken at 5 a.m. We got up to go film the sunrise, and at first we were like, oh my gosh, it is so foggy, this is terrible, but it actually ended up being one of the most worth it. And it was amazing and eerie, and it was great. But my sixth time second semester, which is still continuing. So the first part of the semester, it continued with filming the last bit of my interviews, just because working with schedules was so difficult, which I'm sure every single SIP person could agree, because I had to work with my videographer, who is based in Cincinnati, and my sound person, who is also based in Cincinnati, and the person I was filming with, and a time that we could all meet, which was very difficult, but so worth it. But I filmed a lot of B-roll around town. This is just an example at the slaughterhouse, and I had to contact numerous people about using their footage as well, because I learned that I could do that too, and a lot of people contributed their footage and their music. And towards the last few months of my SIP time, I spent almost all of my time making outlines for each section. It went to exactly what I wanted to say and the film that I wanted to go behind it, and I would just send that to Cincinnati, and then on the weekends I would drive up there, and then we would edit for the entire weekend. and most of my breaks too. And then I also made a website to sell tickets at, and I am lucky enough to have sold out my theater the first week. The website that I created, and yeah, it was pretty cool. But that's just the title, and if you scroll down a little bit, that's where you can purchase tickets, which you can't anymore, but we're working on another screen that you can. And just kind of the vision that I had of my first, or just a little bit about me and my vision. And then that's a little bit of our Instagram, of just kind of giving updates, giveaways, all things like that. Then there's box office, a little bit more information, and then you can also contact me just for any questions or anything like that. And then there's also a newsletter that 3 people have subscribed to, so you're good to go there. But yeah, that's my website. And alrighty, and let's see. So my finished product. Well, this will actually be screening on May 11th at 5 p.m. at Village 8 Theater. And I'm working on a second screening at the moment because I got an overwhelming amount of responses just to show a second one. And I was very surprised with how many tickets I sold within the first week. That was crazy. And yeah, but do y'all want to watch a preview? That would be Oh, wait, 1 second. You can follow us on Twitter, follow us on Instagram, and like us on Facebook.
Let me see this trailer.
Yeah.
It is possible to raise a significant number of animals in a way that is both humane and responsible. But the scale of these operations and the manner in which these animals are raised is something that I think is not humane.
The issue lies deeper than one facility in Louisville. It represents the entire growing industry of factory farming.
Meat, dairy, fish, all of this, these are big businesses, billion-dollar businesses. They want to keep you silent. They want to keep you in the dark, and they do that very successfully.